Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Of course, 5, 6 in between. You know what I'm saying. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I know this is a last second thing, but it's good to see everybody. Welcome, everybody. Good to see y'all. Shout out to the people here in the Foundry today. All 10 of y'all. It don't matter, man. It's still good to see everybody. Welcome, welcome. Another day with your man Ironwork 92,000. Good to see everybody here. Welcome, welcome. I just wanted to jump on real fast. Nothing crazy, just to touch on a few things. Of course, before we roll into everything, let me first say what's up. Let me greet everybody first. So, first order of business. First order of business. Let's welcome Tarita Cirque. How you doing, sis? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Tarita Cirque's here in the Foundry with us, y'all. Welcome, Tarita. All right, all right. Jeremy Bird, how you doing, sir? Good to see you, family. Jeremy Bird, the bird's the word, Big Bird, whatever you want to call him. Good to see him regardless, right? Welcome, sir. Welcome, welcome. Marco Angelo, good to see you, Marco. Welcome, sir. Good to see you. Buonasera. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you, man. Always a pleasure. Serious business. What's going on, family? Welcome, welcome. Always a pleasure to see you as well. Good to see you. Heresy Seed, good to see you, sir. Welcome, welcome. Saddle Bum, welcome, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. FE Nation, what's going on, Carl? Nice to see you, family. Welcome, welcome. Mr. Warrior coming out to play with us tonight. I know it's a nice and early. It's a nice and early tonight, but it's good to see you, man. Welcome, welcome. Memorial Gardens, how you doing, family? Good to see Memorial Gardens is here with us. All right, all right. Christy Lee Dolls, how you doing, sis? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, all right. And as everybody starts to straggle in, and I catch you in that amazing net of hours, I will greet you accordingly. But I don't want to keep y'all too long because I can't stay too long. But I wanted to touch on a few things. Flat Earth Outlaw, how you doing, family? Good to see you, Harmon. Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. But what I wanted to talk about was one of the after effects, which we're going to get, which we haven't gotten yet, of the final experiment talk to thing, right? What I'm talking about is this. So we had the final experiment go down, and then they had everything, the blowover of the final experiment, and then we see who the casualties of that is, i.e., Judas, Patricia Steer, Robbie, what's his name? That guy from his channel. He has orange hair, he's from Canada, him, and all those other people that are involved, right? And so now we have basically a way to quell everything. Will Duffy came out with his, I don't even know, it's like the final explanation or something like that. Basically, it's basically a sum of everything, just summing it all up. These are the conclusions that they've come to, right? And then they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna do things different to moving forward. If they're not doing anything at all. It's a conclusion. It's concluded. TFE is over, right? For them, it's done. It's over. Oh, my bad, Chrissy Lee Dolls. Martin Haley, how you doing, sir? Welcome, welcome. Good to see Martin Haley's in the Foundry. Santero, how you doing, family? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, really, what I wanted to talk about were a couple of things. So, first and foremost is engagement. And no, I'm not talking about you down on one knee and then offering to wanting a woman to marry you, right? Not that kind of engagement. Instead, I'm talking about how we approach these people of the globe. Honestly, you already know how I feel. I'm not trying to tell nobody what to do or how to do it. Instead, I'm just offering my opinion, which really doesn't amount to anything to most people, which is fine, right? But at the same time, I feel that I'd be offering you sound advice, right? I'm like a fiduciary in your corner to provide you the best information, right? That could ultimately protect you from what comes of engaging with globe people. depending on how you engage them. So what I mean is this. So you had Will Duffy, right? He had his show today. And it was what I had mentioned. And of course, he had people that believe that the earth is conditioned a certain way on his show. Now, look, man, you guys know how I feel at this point about debating people that are of the globe earth. And I don't feel it's up for debate anymore because we've already proven that it is not a globe, right? We don't know where the fuck we live that much, but we know it's not curving and it's not doing those extraordinary maneuvers that they keep talking about. Now, this isn't me talking out of emotion. This is just the facts. It's just the facts. You understand? Now, if you want to get into something different, saying the sky is moving or the sky is doing something different, we could go into that till the cows come home. But as far as this land that we're on, this earth that's beneath our feet, it doesn't move. It doesn't curve. It just doesn't, right? And you don't have to believe me. I'm not forcing you to believe me. If you don't believe me, that's fine. But what I would recommend is you go outside, bring your ass outside and conduct the cheap experiments. And what I mean by cheap is not the quality of the experiment, but rather the equipment involved in the experiment, right? And the personnel that would be involved. That's what I mean by cheap. And letting you know that science doesn't belong to a small group of people. You understand? The truth doesn't belong to a small group of people. Everybody's got access to the truth. It all depends on what you want to do with that information when you finally get it. Do you rock with it? Do you not rock with it? Do you press forward a little bit more just to see if you could squeeze a little bit more out of it? I don't know what you do with that information. But the truth is that once you come to a conclusion, deal with it, right? Once you come to the true conclusion, you're going to have to contend with that. I've had to do it. Damn near everybody in the foundry has had to do it as well. And so it is what it is, right? Give me 1 second. And so I'm saying all that and kind of buttering everybody up right now just to say this, dude. If you are a flat earther, okay? If you're a flat earther and you're being offered a platform on a globe channel to debate a person, my recommendation, especially if you know these people to be a little bit sketchy in their character when it comes to dealing with us as people of our community, I would say do not engage. I would say do not engage, okay? Unless you're going to talk about video games, unless all you're doing is joking and having a good time, I would say do not engage them, okay? Because these people, and here's my thing. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world. These guys, I'm telling you, these globe people rely on the white lab coat. They rely on degrees. They rely on people with the British accent and everything else in order to feel comfortable in their bullshit. That's what they do. I'm just telling you because I could tell you as a person without a lab coat, as a person without a degree, my saving grace is my experience, right? And many of you out there, that's the same thing with you, right? Or maybe not many of you, but some of you out there. And to those of you that haven't done it the way some of us have done it, and you've conducted the experiments and you've done the legwork, shout out to you. You understand? But you're dealing with a bunch of people that they're not going to consider our experience to give you what the truth is. They're not. They won't, right? They need to feel smart. Okay? They need their calculations and everything. And I'm not talking bad about the calculations, but when we use their own calculations against them, it works in our favor. You understand? It hardly ever works in their favor. Now, it's just an unfortunate place to be when we have to deal with these people and we're trying to, I guess, oversmart them. You don't have to do that. All you have to do, you just mentioned water. Water's not curving. It's right there. The laser tests. How many laser tests have we done? Submarines. That's it. That's it. We're done. There's no more debate. We're done. Like, Here, I gave you the 3 points that you need to figure out and why we don't see. And you notice how Duffy keeps coming back and saying, well, we see curvature. We don't see curvature, number one, at the ground. And then that Kellen dude, we mentioned why, if you do see some kind of curvature at that distance, why you do, because there's no perfect lens. But ultimately, once you make that lens even, and you could do the same thing. I think you might be able to do the same thing with the parabolic lens as well. Once you make the lens even with what the horizon is, and it's not dipping or it's not climbing, the earth is going to be flat. It's going to be flat. Because now, if you want to, because here's the thing, if you want to take curvature, then you have to take the converse. You have to take convexity as well. You know what I'm saying? Or concavity, excuse me. You have to take the concavity as well. So you can't just take one and then not accept the other. It's not how it works. So as soon as you see this small curve, this slight curve, and then you're pining for it, but then the camera dips and it does something else, and then it gives you the opposite effect, you're not going to take that? No, you have to take that. What we're saying is that have that bitch lined up even, doesn't matter how high you climb. And then we're limited to how high we could climb, because we ain't getting that high, right? It will be flat, straight, and level. And it's that way all the way around. Now, if you want to dispute somebody about that, listen, at this point, we are outside of your purview, okay? At this point, your next level that you have to deal with is not a flat earther. You need to talk to your boy Neil deGrasse Tyson at this point. You understand? You can't sit there and argue with flat earthers about things that Neil deGrasse Tyson swears up and down by, right? You can't see curvature at this height. That's what he swears by. So if that's what he's going to say, you mean to tell me that your God of the earth, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Blackula himself, mean to tell me that he's wrong? Okay, well, don't tell me he's wrong. You tell Neil deGrasse Tyson that he's wrong. Or you Neil deGrasse. Okay, and then that's for the globe people. But coming back, bringing it back home to the flat earth people, do not engage these people. Anytime we go to these channels, anytime we try to listen, you're dealing with people that they see the evidence that we've given them. But once you start engaging with them, it doesn't matter. All bets are off, because they're going to lie. It doesn't matter if you give them something that's green, they're going to say it's orange. They're going to argue it. They're going to argue it. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. So you're fighting a losing battle. You're fighting a losing battle. Because here's the thing: as soon as you mess up and you misspeak and you say something that you say, hey, I shouldn't have said that, I should have said this, because now he's going to use it against me. That's what they're hoping for. They're hoping for you to fuck up so they can use your word against you. And you could say, oh, I didn't mean that, I meant this, right? For example, Will Duffy said that's why we didn't have a 24-hour moon or something to that effect, right? And I brought it up on the channel. I said, listen to what Will Duffy said. Could it be that he's telling the truth and not even know it? Or could it be that, or no, I think he said not a 24-hour moon. I forgot to what it was he was talking about, but something along those lines. Please, don't kill me. Don't kill me. But you could find it where he misspoke. He was trying to say one thing, but he said something in our favor, right? I mean, could you use that against them? Sure, you can. But is it an honest way to conduct business? Now, the way we conduct business, I feel, is the honest way of doing things, right? Because we're not going to sit here and lie on anybody. We're not going to sit there or make things up about people, right? We're not going to. That's my thing. Is if I say something, especially about a person, I'm not going to sit there and make stories up about them that aren't true. You know what I'm saying? Like that's so fucking weak. I don't like that. I don't play that shit. But if Will Duffy meant to say that, that's one thing. But if he didn't mean to say that, do we show it? Sure. But then you need to speak honestly on it. And then you need to be like, maybe he fucked up. I'll play devil's advocate. I will play devil's advocate. And sometimes you have to, just to show, hey man, we're not coming from a place of dishonesty, because at the end of the day, we're not trying to beat somebody. That's not our goal. Our goal is not to beat the globe earth people in debates. No, the goal is to find out where the fuck it is we live, why it is we're being like, that's the goal, y'all. That's the goal. It's not to debate those people, okay? Because we know what their goal is. Their goal is to push lies still. Their goal is to keep that lie going, because if their goal wasn't to push that lie, why do we get trolled the way we do? Why is it that when we present evidence from people that have been out on the street, out on the field, doing the things that they wish they can do, that many of us have already done, when we present that to them, they call us shills and liars and everything else? But if we call their personnel shills and liars, you mean to tell me NASA's been telling us the truth? You mean to tell me our government personnel has been telling us the truth? You mean to tell me that those pilots that know good and goddamn well that they need to go by a fucking flight dynamic that they promise to adhere to, that when they say no, we're curving, you mean to tell me that we can't call those people liars for them actually lying? We most certainly can, because they are lying, because then we can shut them, we could put them on ice, shut them up immediately, and then we could present the flip side. We could present everything we said and compare what we said and what we can prove against what they're saying and what they're claiming. You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side to that, you got pilots already. You have pilots that are saying, hey, it's flat, right? And then you have people that are going against those pilots, saying those pilots are stupid. But really, those pilots are stupid. Now those pilots are stupid because they're calling it like it is. No, it's flat. It's flat. It's flat. It is what it is. Our thing isn't, it's not, I want you guys to remember that. Please stop trying to go to these channels and trying to convince liars, dude, because they do not mean you any well. They will use that airtime that you have against you. I'm telling you. You talk about, look, it's easy enough for them to come around, fuck with this channel, make hit pieces on me, talk back, call me all kinds of rapists, call me all kinds of bullshit. Like, these people will call me all kinds of bullshit and lie, right? Say I'm a rapist, I'm a stolen valor, I do this, I do that, I do that, I do this, right? Aside from me being a midget, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm short. Hey man, some people are short. I'm one of them people. It is what it is, right? But real talk though. So you're gonna have these people come up here and just make lie after lie after lie. But the thing is, I accept that. I'm ready for it, right? I know how to deal with that. And it is what it is. Like, they talk shit, they talk shit. It's like, all right, bet. Like, but when but why are they talking shit? You got to ask that question. Why then are they talking shit about me? For what? I'm not calling these guys. I'm not calling these guys, hey, you need to debate me. No, I'm not. No, we're providing a service, and that service is the truth. Whether people want that fucking medicine or not, they're going to get it. You understand? Whether they want it or not, they're going to get it. Because in my opinion, I feel that there's going to come a time where a lot of people that don't, and listen, we were there as well, where we may not have accepted the flat earth, right? And we were one of the people in the peanut gallery talking shit about those that did accept the flat earth. But then, hold on. You have to think about those people, because we were those people. You understand? Nobody's perfect. I'm not claiming to say that we got it all figured out and that we're perfect. Not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that we understand where the people that legitimately don't know, because for whatever reason they either don't choose to know, they haven't truly looked at the evidence, because that might have been some of us, where we didn't look at it until we actually looked at it, or we didn't look at it until we had no choice but to look at it, right? We were in a predicament to where it's like, holy fuck, why is this not doing these things, right? And then once we think we might get it, we do a little bit more digging, and then we come to our conclusion that it's not doing what we were taught. They lied about it, right? So there are a lot of things, like what a lot of these globe folks don't understand, that there's a lot that they have to take on when it comes to the deceit. You understand? It's not just the earth is curving, but there are a bunch of things that go with that, right? Now I'm going back to flat earth 101, but sometimes we have to. So there are a lot of things that go with, is the earth curving or not? So it's where we live. It's the history of this world. It's the things like the floods, these things that we keep calling resets, right? And if a lot of our history, I would say contemporary history, is a lie, then who's to say that the shit um uh previous to the history that we've been given, the immediate history that some of our relatives might have lived through, and some of our ancient people in our families, right? Who's to say that the stuff that they're telling us before all that happened really happened? Like you need to truly take this into consideration. Like, these motherfuckers are not going to tell you the truth, and I'm not trying to sit here to convince you of that, but if you're not going to understand that, if you don't have to listen to me, if you're not going to understand that part, then like we're not going to talk. There is no talking here. If you don't see the flaws in 9/11, if you don't see the flaws in the war in Iraq and everything else, if you don't see the flaws on just the basic sciences and the basic histories of what we were told about in this world, especially here in the United States, then the flat earth is the least of my worries when it comes to having a discussion with you. Like, we won't have a discussion because in my opinion, you haven't done the legwork. You haven't accepted that our government is crooked. See, it comes in levels, right? It comes in levels, small levels, right? You have to get to a place. You don't just believe that the earth is flat, not just like it. Well, unless you're a pure purist. You don't just believe the earth is flat. It doesn't happen like that. It's deceit after deceit after deceit after deceit. And then you start putting shit together. But once you get to the flat earth, making it back to it basically, flat earth basically gives you an avenue back to the deceit, to the original deceit. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, people of the globe are gonna laugh, they're gonna talk shit, but we're past that. Like, we're past that. It's hard for us to explain if you're not in our shoes and all you could do is talk shit and make fun. You wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand it. Listen, everybody here was a glober. Everybody at some point believed in this government or their government, right? Everybody, if you're not in the US and you're, say, someplace outside the US, you have your own level of corruption that you have to deal with. Me, I am a former military man. And so I'm not going to, just because I was in the military, I'm not going to sit back and say my government's not corrupt. My government is absolutely corrupt. Absolutely corrupt. And yes, I fought for this government. I fought for this country, right? I partook in this. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, but I was outside of it. No, I partook in it. I absolutely did. But at the same time, I could be honest with the final result. And I could say that we have a absolutely corrupt government. I'm not going to, if you're from someplace else, can I speak on certain flaws that I might see? Sure. But I'm not in that position to talk bad on somebody else's country. But I could talk about mine. I lived here, born here, raised here, pay taxes here, do all that shit, right? Or, I'm not going to talk about that, but I served my country honorably, right? I did all the things, right? Did all the things. And I come to the conclusion that it's fucked up. The system is flawed, right? Okay, from my perspective, it's flawed. It's built like this for a reason, but it is full of holes, full of deceit, and full of lies. That much I can admit. If you are a glober and you cannot see the foundation of the lies, the flat earth won't make sense to you. So I honestly feel you need to you as globers, we just need to go our separate ways. You as globers, you go where you go. Us as flat earthers, we go where the fuck we go. Stop engaging with these motherfuckers. Stop going on their platforms and trying to show them that they're wrong. No, let them bathe in their idiocy. Let them bathe in their ignorance. Listen, man. Listen, when we spit, okay, since flat earthers are so fucking stupid, Why is it that the flat earth and the giant stuff, there is a connection? Why is everybody now starting to pick up on this whole giants thing? Like, this is shit that we've been talking about for a while now. And I'm not saying that the giant thing needs to be separate. No, but there's a connection between flat earth and these Nephilim that we call them, or these superhuman beings that were mammoth size, right? And we're making connections to these floods, these resets, this old world stuff that's going on. The earth not being what it is. It's all part of it, right? These giants, these people, the bones that they keep finding. And then of course it's easy to say it doesn't fucking work. It doesn't make sense and it's a lie, because nobody's going to come out and tell you, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is where giants live." Nobody's going to fucking tell you that. Nobody believes in that. People are just now coming to understand that spirits are a real phenomenon, right? That there are vibrations out there that just don't make sense to a lot of people, but we understand that they exist. They're there. You want to know how I know they're there? Have you ever seen radar? I can't see radar, but I understand the principles behind it and I understand the results of using radar. Or on the flip side, listening for radar transmission, right? So I know that there is something out there. But if you would have told me that radar existed and I couldn't hear it, see it, do anything with it, I would say that you're full of shit. But because we have the equipment, there we do understand that there are certain waves of light and the like that we cannot see and we cannot hear without this equipment around. This weird world, this strange world functions, it doesn't function any fucking different. It just doesn't. You understand? So for us to say it's not real, it doesn't exist, that's being disingenuous. You know what I'm saying? Now that's just being totally disingenuous. Now, if to say I don't know if it's real, I don't know if there is something to it, that's being honest. But to say it's not real, you don't know. Nobody knows these things. But us in the flat earth, we understand that the possibilities, that's what it is, right? I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is that the possibilities when it comes to the flat earth, the possibilities are endless. The possibilities are endless. And yes, radars can also give you cancer and cause an outbreak of illness when it was invented. This is true. But another thing, like radar is extremely powerful. There is a radar on on these naval ships. One of them is typically on destroyers. It's called a Spy 1, right? So the Spy 1 it's not a typical radar like you're used to. It's not the parabolic dish with the mechanical scan, whether it's, bidirectional or it's a circular scan or something like that, right? But the Spy 1 it looked like a stop sign, right? And it's on the different sides of the superstructure of the ship. The superstructure being well above the waterline, well above the goddamn. Now I'm forgetting my naval terms, but the superstructure is the top portion of the boat, right? Of the ship, excuse me. And so this is an electronically steering beam of a radar. So that means the radar itself doesn't move, but the beam within it can move, right? It's an it pulses at different rates from different places on that big giant, that big phased array of a radar, right? And so what that means is that you have a bunch of nodes. You have a bunch of small antenna doing a million jobs a second, damn near. And so this thing is so powerful. I've known of people throw up bags of popcorn and stuff like that next to it, or birds passing in front of the radar, bags of popcorn blowing up, right? Birds passing in front of the radar and getting cooked, getting fried, or blowing up. Boom. It's like a fucking microwave working, this thing. But we understand that this phenomena is real and we can prove it time and time again. We prove it all the time, right? Ghosts and the like are no different. So when you see one thing, I'm not saying that they're a guarantee, but there's a good case for things that are outside of our understanding, that we know that there's a very good possibility that these things could be real. Now, I've had my own experiences with things that I cannot explain. I'm sure many of you have, right? And so we would hands down say, yes, these things are real, right? But there is no, outside of that, There's no way that I can prove to you that ghosts are real other than my own testimony and what I've lived through. However, men are flawed. Men are liars. We see it day in, day out. The best of us are all fucked. There's a difference. When we come to you with the condition of this earth, we bring evidence. We give you the evidence. Every time, I don't know how many times I got to tell you that I hear, oh, flat earthers don't come up with evidence. Listen, we come up with so much evidence all the time. Like, we're tired of coming back and giving you the same fucking thing. All right. You know what? Globe people remind me of that friend of yours, right? That keeps getting burnt by women. And you keep telling them, settle down with one woman. Stop trying to go around to 4, 5, 6, 20, 80 different women. If you settle down with one good woman, maybe your life would be a little different. Maybe. But that friend never listens. Instead, he goes from woman to woman, a woman, a woman, a woman, a woman simultaneously. His life is all upside down. And it doesn't make sense to him why his life is all upside down. I'm like, look, fucker, I gave you the fucking recipe. Either you stop, slow down, don't fuck with these women no more, or you get one woman, one good woman, and just treat her well. Maybe two. Sure. Okay, maybe two. Maybe two women. All right. But you just treat them well. Just treat them well. You know what I'm saying? And your life it'll be different. Things will develop. They'll change. But it's like anybody. I'm sure it's not just that friend. Maybe it was you. Maybe you were that person that was hard-headed, that refused to look at the things that can help you and make you better. And instead, you wanted to go about it your own way. Well, if you want different results, you got to be ready to do different things. Okay? These globe people think that we're new to this, right? Or they think that we were just born. No, the same lies that you globe people have gotten and you still get and you still believe, we were given and we at one time believed. It's that simple. We believe the same thing you believed. So we've come to a place, at least I've come to a place, right, that there is no debate. Guys, you could be flat earthers in the foundry. You're all amazing. I love you guys. I think you're solid people. But you have to let them at their own time spiritually get to a place where they can comfortably accept this place for what it is. Let them do the legwork. Do not force it in their face. Do not argue with them. Do not engage them. Okay? It just gives them, it makes them relevant, which in my opinion, they've lost relevance a long time ago. After this final experiment thing, it's such a dishonest way in which they function that it's like, let them do their thing. Let them do their thing. Our job is to figure out where the fuck we live. We've already figured it out that it's flat. We know that part, right? We need to keep going. Do not waste your time with these people, right? You have people out there that are pushing the flat earth. Cool. You have people out there that understand this earth very, very well, can explain it in scientific ways from top to bottom, which I think is amazing, right? And many of us, we're familiar with it. We understand it. It makes perfect sense, right? And then we could show how how the flip side, right? The globe side doesn't tend to work. It doesn't work with the situation that we're given, with the earth being stationary and the sky is moving. Let me give you an example. So a lot of people talk bad about Bob Nodell, how he did a laser gyro experiment where they said it shows that the earth is moving. Listen, that Bob Nodell experiment should have had Bob Nodell double down and show that the earth, in fact, is not moving. Because what's one thing, anytime, if you live in and around a populated area, right, or close to a populated area, if you look up in the sky, what's one thing you're always going to see? Damn near. What are you always going to see? What are you always going to see? You're always going to see something moving in the sky. You will always see an airplane. You will always hear an airplane if you're living in a populated area, is what I'm talking about, right? If you live out in the wilderness, you might not. I don't know, depending on where you're at. If you're out to sea somewhere and you're not close to land, you might not see shit for a long time. You just won't, right? But You will see an airplane or a halo or something flying in the sky. It will have its port and starboard lights on, right? Those are the lights flashing, right? Warning lights and everything else. It will have that. But the globe swears up and down by Coriolis. Let me tell you a difference between, aside from size and speed, between a sniper's bullet and an airplane, right? Like one of the big differences. A sniper's bullet will not take a fucking air lane and decide to change direction because it's in a different air lane, because it has a flight plan. Sniper bullets don't do that, right? You pick your target, you set it up compared to what the air around you is giving you as a sniper, and then you fire, and then you forget, right? And hopefully your target isn't moving. Usually these guys are they're pretty wound tight with their shots, and snipers are some pretty resourceful, very smart people, right? But the thing is that there's a similarity with sniper bullets and airplanes. They both fly. Why is it then, if they both fly, why is it then that they say snipers take Coriolis into effect, right? But then the actual sniper never takes Coriolis into effect. They say airplanes consider the Coriolis effect, but pilots never consider a Coriolis effect. They just don't. Pilots never do. That flight dynamic tells you that pilots don't. They don't. And let me tell you something. There have been pilots, or there have been snipers since there have been guns. There have been snipers since there have been long guns. You understand? There have been naval battles, like big time. I'm not talking about swashbuckling naval battles and shit, like Captain Kidd or Blackbeard or some shit like that. I'm not talking about that. There have been naval battles that they didn't consider the spin of this earth. And let me tell you where the majority of these naval battles took place at, the ones that we're very familiar with. They took place in and around the equator, around the tropics, where the earth is supposedly moving its fastest. That's where a lot of these naval battles took place. And I'm talking about the naval battles in the 40s, obviously, right? During World War II. And so a lot of artillery fire was exchanged in and around that time. You mean to tell me, with those long distance shots, that they took Coriolis into effect? They never did. Not once. They never did. They never do. They don't. And so they hit their target a lot of times. A lot of times they did, and sometimes they missed, right? You have to line your shit up. You have to arc it correctly. Then you shoot. Like, these are facts. This isn't me talking bad about a group of people. This isn't me saying that they're just dumb, they're silly, they're terrible people, all of which could be true, sure. But we're providing you facts. We're providing you evidence. And every week, every time I come on, I'm not just talking shit. I'm providing you evidence. These are evidence. This is evidence. You could go to any fucking gunner's mate in the Navy, and they'll say, no, we don't fucking do. No, nobody does that. No, nobody did that. You can, especially the old gunner's mates, right? Old ones back, during World War II, Nam and everything like that. They're like, no. Korean War, they're like, no, we ain't do all that Coriolis effect. Hell no. Do you know? Let me tell you something. If the Coriolis effect was a thing, do you know how many naval gunners mates would come out in defense of the globe? Do you know how many fire controlmen would come out in defense of the globe? I know gunners mates, I know fire controlmen, and none of them, not one of them will talk about the Coriolis effect. Hell no. No way, no way, no way, no way, no how. No sniper will tell you about, oh, well, while it's spinning, we have to calculate. Nobody will, because you know why? No airline pilot will. No airline pilot will say, well, because you want to know why? Airline pilots, there are certain things that airline pilots calculate. Like, no shit, they know the time, the distance to their target, and the amount of gas that they got. They know those things like the back of their motherfucking hand. And based on a wind speed, what they have to do, especially if they're flying below 27,000 feet, and it's not a fly-by-wire flight, these guys know very well exactly how they need to fly that plane. As a matter of fact, the guys that fly below a certain height have another person in the cockpit. Typically, they're called a flight engineer, right? And that flight engineer will basically be their gas mind. There'll be that person to say, hey, man, this is how much gas you got. You might not want to go that far. You don't want to get too far off course because we need to stay straight with the amount of gas that we have left. That's what they do. That's how I know, and I know that's how they operate. I've seen it, heard it, and we've been part of this discussion. I've been part of this discussion before a few times, right? So they're not concerned about how Earth is doing anything, because if it was real and if it was that fucking important, guess what? They would figure that into their fucking calculations. This isn't me just talking shit. This is me providing you evidence. Another bit of evidence didn't even cross my mind, but it just crossed my mind today, and it just crossed my mind now. No pilot, especially a military one, is going to tell you, well, based off of how this curve is turning, and that, no, they're not going to do that. They'll never do that. They won't ever do that. They won't, because it's not happening. It's that simple. It's not happening. And since it's not happening, there's no reason for them to curve with something that's not curving, or move with something that's not only not curving, but also not moving. They won't, like, and that's the thing, is if it was a thing, that's the only thing that would be on the pilot's mind. You understand? So if there was a curvature and if there was a movement of this Earth, right, in a particular direction, east, west, east, whatever, they would calculate that in with everything else. They would. But since it's not a thing, they don't. You don't have to listen to me. You don't. You really don't. I've done these. I've flown these missions. I wasn't the pilot behind these missions, but I've flown these missions. So of course you get to asking certain questions, or you see how things function, because a lot of times these flight missions, like, I had to ask, hey man, can you do this? Can you go here? Or can you make this turn? I have to do what I need to do. And either yay or nay. Usually it was yay. Usually we had plenty of gas to do what I requested. But if we didn't have that time, we didn't have it, they'd say, no, we can't do that. But you know what they didn't say? Well, the Earth is moving at this speed since we're this close at the equator. It's moving at like 999 miles an hour. Since we're this close to the equator, we can't do that, man. We can't do that. Like, guys, globe people, listen. A lot of times you say I have stolen valor and I've done this. Listen, man, you don't have to like me. You don't have to like me, but I don't have to like you either. But at the same time, I don't have to sit here and lie to you. I get nothing out of lie. I don't, whether I tell the truth or I lie, I still get nothing. You know that? But why am I going to put myself in a position to lie? Why? About this? Why would we put ourselves in a position to look like fools? For what? For what? You know, I'm retired. I've got my life. I don't even have to talk about this thing. But I choose to, because I understand how important this truth is to get out to everybody. Like, I don't want even you to miss it. But the thing is if you're going to take this at bad faith, we don't want to engage it with you. And you other flat earthers out there, like, look, man, stop begging these people for attention. Do not come to them for your attention. Christine Gilberti, how you doing, sis? Our sister Christine Gilberti. Welcome, sis. Welcome. And Chris, if you don't mind, Mrs. Gilberti, shout out to Mrs. Gilberti. Shout out to Christine Gilberti. If you don't mind, if you could put that link in the chat, please. If you could drop that link for everybody, please. If you could go ahead and drop that link for everybody, I'd really appreciate it. We'd really appreciate it, Christine. Shout out to Mrs. Gilberti. We've been hearing all kinds of lies about us. We've been hearing that we've lost flat earthers. No, our numbers have been growing. There's a difference. Like you really don't lose flat earthers. You lose globers though. You lose people of the globe. Everybody was indoctrinated in the globe. You can't lose flat earthers. It doesn't happen. You will lose. You'll keep losing globers though. I promise you that. You'll keep getting more flat earthers though. I promise you that. That's a promise. So flat earthers, it's me telling you. You're going to hear the other channels telling you this too. You're going to hear the other bigger channels telling you this. Like, stop engaging with these dudes because they mean you no love, man. They mean you nothing that's going to help you. So they think flat earth is the only thing we talk about. And then you have on the flip side where they say they don't even talk about flat earth anymore. They talk about other things. No, because the other things they come from flat earth. We understand that. For example, Joe Gilberti, a glober. He is a glober, but he came upon some primary water, right? Civil engineer, I believe, finds some primary water in Florida. He digs it up. A company offers this man $500 million. He says no. When he says fucking no, they fucking try to lock him up. They've gone ahead. They've locked him up. They've locked him up. Now they want him in jail for 15 fucking years. 15 years. And you want to know who talks about it? We talk about it on this Flat Earth channel. Do you want to know why we talk about it? Because it involves corruption. Do you want to know why it involves corruption and we think it's relevant? Because we can trace it back. Of course, it's water, primary water, living water. Some people call it living water. Some people say it's water from the flood. Some people say it's the water outside the firmament that God flooded this world with. I don't know what kind of water it is. But is there a connection? Possibly. Has it come from a fucking comet that hit the earth? We know that's not true. A comet that hit the earth and gave us water. We don't believe that, right? We know in our heart of hearts that that's not true. But I would have to say that it's us not believing it, right? Okay, we weren't there to see it happen. We do know that this man came upon this treasure of water, and he's been trying to give it to the public now. And they've been slowing his hand so much so that they've charged him with a crime that doesn't even exist. And so we talk about that here in this channel because wherever there's corruption, wherever there's some kind of injustice, yes, we talk about it. We talk about it because you know what it is? It's lies. And we don't like lies here. Guys, go ahead and grab that from Mrs. Gilberti. Go ahead and grab that from Christine Gilberti. Grab that. That is his give, go, and send. Give, send, and go, excuse me. That's his give, go, and send. Go ahead, get on that, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show that thing some love, man. But that is Joe Gilberti's give, send, go. All right. That's for the Gilbertis. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show some love. I'm going to drop some love in there, man. But get on that. And if you hadn't, here it is again. Boom. That is the give, send, go from Joe Gilberti's, from Mrs. Gilberti for Mr. Gilberti, Joe Gilberti. Go ahead and get in on that. See, look, and that's the thing, y'all. I don't ask for anything. I don't ask for anything. But if I see there's a cause that's worth giving to, I'm gonna put some money in it, man. This is something that I feel is worth putting money into. Yes, he was abducted. He was kidnapped. Oh, whoa. Oh, loose sapphire. I did not know that. From a public speaking NASA held for recording and asking about the TR-3B. See, that's what it is, man. That's what you come across. Like, this is what flat earthers expose. And here's the thing. I don't know if this is true or not. Don't know who Loose Sapphire is. But if that is true, Loose Sapphire, that's wild. But here's the thing is we see corruption. We hate corruption. So we talk about corruption. And if there's a way to help somebody on the other side of that corruption, we want to help them. which is why things like the living waters, the primary waters, are very important to us, which is why the things like the fucking jab and the people dying because of it, it's important to us, and it's important to talk about it, and it's important to talk about away from it and around it. So we talk about it. This is what we do here in the Flat Earth. You understand? It's not exclusive to Flat Earth, but it's just as important. It's just as important because we find a relation there. Listen, we're not. I'm done explaining to you globe people why we do what it is we do. But know this: you don't have a platform here. You don't have any place to speak here. You're not going to speak honestly. We've given you all the tools you need. Use them. That's my recommendation. And to the flat earthers out there that like to debate these globers, listen, man, you do what you want. I'm here to tell you that these people don't have nothing good for your ass. They're looking to turn your debate into a hit piece. That's it. Do not deal with the devil. You will get devil results. I promise you. Right? You could think you're outsmarting them, this one, that one. Don't even waste your fucking time. I'm telling you, don't waste your time. Walk away. If you got the time, walk away from these people, man. You're just better for it. Anyway, family, that's all I got, man. I'm going to let y'all do y'all's thing, man. I'm going to let y'all do y'all's thing. It's good to have y'all here. I don't know if JJ or Sav is going to be on, but keep on a lookout for those guys. They might be transmitting tonight. Again, man, look, this dude did what he did. Will Duffy did what he did. Let them have their bullshit lie. We know what this place is. We know what this place is not. Okay? Let them have their lie. Our job, again, keep pushing the truth. Keep pushing the truth. Our numbers will continue to grow. Our numbers will continue to grow. That shit ain't changing. Okay? Our numbers will just keep growing. And they don't like that, man. And we got these motherfuckers on the rope. They're not changing us. We know what this place isn't. So I ain't even worried about it. And you shouldn't either. And look, again, please don't debate these people. Just let them stew in their own idiocy, please. Let them stew in their own stupidity. Anyway, family, that's all I got. I'm going to let y'all ride out. I got things to take care of. And I wish you guys nothing but the best. Health, wealth, love, joy, prosperity. Most of all, family, wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. Let's take care of each other. Like, you ain't got to listen to me, but listen to me. Just listen. You ain't got to do what it is I said, but just pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, fam, I love y'all. I'm out. I might see y'all tomorrow. I might not. Peace.